That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. Nobody cares if I'm in the sun when there's a job to be done. Freeman Speaks edition of the Always Irish is it in his studio. Thank you for being here, folks. I appreciate it. Hey, bear with me. I'm doing this remote. I have the camera, but I don't have my microphone. Bear with me. But I wanted to get this out. Freeman spoke, introduced Parker. It's a big deal. Doesn't matter if I'm gone. It's important. I wanted to cover some of what Freeman said, some of the response to it, and what I think about it. So let's get into this. Again, it isn't going to go long because I don't have all my equipment. I'm not going to make you sit there. YouTube, obviously, you know where to find me. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps as well. Notifications on, you know why. That way you'll be alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want me. You can get me. Call in line 312-900-8815. Call and tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Fighting Irish Wire every day. Make it a part of your Google routine. Don't miss it, folks. All right. So Freeman spoke, introducing Parker, and the response to it from Notre Dame Twitter, it's been very interesting, the responses to it. So I looked at it, I had some time, and I have a couple thoughts about this and where I'm at with all of it, okay? Here's number one. Marcus Freeman's communication skills are top-notch. Like, it is an area that he excels in naturally. It comes naturally to him. He is great at this. So it doesn't surprise me at all that he came off very well-spoken today. The other thing you all need to know is, if you think today was just random, every other presser, Marcus goes up there and wings it, I got news for you. That's not how these things go. This messaging was talked about before. It was hammered out. You knew these questions were coming. So don't think for a minute Freeman just got up there and nobody talked about this and he just winged it. That's not how these things go, especially in response to a big problem. All right. So that's number one. Freeman's communication skills are outrageously exceptional. Right in line with Notre Dame. They always love that. A guy that could talk and do all that. Kelly was good at it too. The politics speech. Notre Dame loves that. It's just, that's why it's frustrating to me that they didn't have it all together on the messaging with this hire and whatever happened. That's why this is so frustrating, because Notre Dame's historically been so good at these kinds of things. So Freeman's communication skills are top notch, just dignity, class, well-spoken, everything you could want. Great job by him. Notre Dame's darn lucky to have this guy. He tries as hard as he can. Genuine as the day is long, great communicator, like great steward of Notre Dame. Here's number two. I'm seeing people say, well, John, don't you feel like an idiot? You went on that rager and put out your show and all that in response to Jack. Now Freeman saying he has full support. Don't you feel like an idiot? This is all over and you were wrong and we were all mistaken and all the articles were wrong and all the podcasters were wrong. Freeman just got up there and said he has full support. Like, aren't you an idiot now? I'm begging you guys to really think of this like a Fortune 500 company does PR. Like I just want us to think through this a little bit. Number one is, let's say, I don't think any of us are going to know unless you guys know from a back paywall behind the scenes thing. I don't know if any of us are going to know the full backstory with Ludwig, what happened, it's obvious there was some issue. Something with all this did not gel or go right with the timing. I don't think that's up for dispute. That something went sideways somewhere here, either with messaging, communication, something went wrong. Okay. But think about it. Let's say that Freeman really was mad. There was a miscommunication. They really weren't on the same page, thought it was going to be like, I don't know what happened. Let's say Freeman did feel wronged this last week, or that the administration wasn't behind him privately. That's how Marcus felt. Short of him quitting Notre Dame, what did you want him to do today? That's my question for people who are telling me, oh, everything's fine, John. You made a big deal out of nothing. Even if they made Marcus mad and didn't support him or whatever, what did you expect him to say today? Like, this message was very predictable. This is what he had to say. If the administration didn't support him or whatever, the only way he could rage against it is if he quit. You can't keep the job, then get up there and go, oh, Notre Dame messed all this up and blah, 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 and they're not giving me what I need. Like, even if Freeman was mad, his options are quit, tell the truth, or not quit, and then you have to soften the message and whatever else. So this message today was completely predictable, 100%. There's nobody that can tell me it isn't. There's nothing else he could have said. There's nothing else he could have said, even if he's privately mad and something didn't go good with the administration. He can't tell us that. That would be adding gas on the fire. So Marcus did the mature thing for the betterment of the entire operation and brand, smoothing this all over. Here's the other thing. Some of this is about Marcus. If he couldn't get up there and go, oh yeah, we had these communication issues, or we mistimed it, or I was on a different page. You can't do that. So this message was so predictable. It's all he could say. It's all he could say today is what he said. So that shouldn't surprise anybody. The other thing is, he also couldn't say anything negative whatsoever because it undercuts Parker, who's his guy that has the job. So we have to understand, we have to build that up as well. Everybody knows this is starting out negatively perception-wise. The last thing Freeman's going to do is get up there today, rail against the administration, and then make us think this was the third or fourth choice. That was never going to happen. All of this messaging today is PR 101. I'm just mad they didn't do it before to not have to do it now. If they did that good of careful messaging as they did today, before they paraded this guy at the hockey game, we wouldn't be in this position. So people saying, Freeman's up there saying he has full support. John, you're an idiot. It isn't that simple. What did you want him to say? Even if he didn't have the support, he couldn't say that to us today. That's what I need everybody to get. And let's say Freeman's 100% telling the truth, that they were behind him, they supported him, they couldn't support him anymore. Let's say that's 100% true. The messaging today, 100% accurate, factual. Let's run with that. I don't know if it is or not. Let's run with it. What he said today is true. Notre Dame still messed this up 5 ways to Sunday. Like, Jack's statement does not make Notre Dame look great and free them from everything. Freeman, what he said today, even if every single word Freeman said today is 100% accurate, mistakes were still made all over this. Notre Dame's so good with messaging and PR, they would never let that guy go to the hockey game and be seen, knowing it's going to be on all the cameras and all the websites and on Twitter in 2 seconds. Something went wrong here, and we're never going to know what it is. Something went wrong. It smells fishy from every different way. So my real thought is something went wrong with the communication. Could be that contract rumor. Like, something got messed up here. It can't come out. It's going to make us look worse. So I just, even if everything Jack said's accurate, everything Freeman said's accurate, mistakes were made all over this. And I just need Notre Dame to tighten that whole thing up, the messaging, and protect themselves from this moving forward. And a part of that is something I have coming later this week about how Notre Dame could further prevent themselves from being in this similar position again in the future. What else did I have on my notes? Let's see. So when I first saw this morning and I saw that Freeman spoke and my routine's messed up, I'm on vacation. Like, I'm not tied to the computer in my little basement, right? It's like my initial thought was, this is exactly what he had to say. There's none of this is surprising at all. There's nothing else he could say. Whether he wanted to or not, unless he quit, he had to toe the company line, soften this, and make it all look fine. And he did a great job at that. But then I had people be like, well, then, John, are you trying to say that Freeman's lying up there? The man just said he has full support. Is that not enough for you? Bro, Have you ever seen football press conferences before with Kelly or the NFL or anything? This isn't black and white like your girlfriend told you a lie or you told her a lie. It is the coach's job to get up there and soften bad PR and say whatever they have to do. Like, it isn't that black and white. A part of Freeman's job duty is damage control. When you're a head coach of one of these institutions, that is a part of your job. Nobody wants to have to go down that well and do it. But if you end up in a position where it's needed, that's your job, is to protect the whole operation. Freeman had no other choice here other than quitting if something really went wrong and he was personally wronged. He had to quit or give the messaging he did today. Those are the only options. There's no in between. There is no in between. I just need people to understand when you're saying, oh, John, that's it. He just said he has full support. That's it. That where everything else was wrong. No. Even if it's true, Notre Dame messed this up and they know it. They just don't want us to know the details publicly. So it isn't that black and white. And this is damage control 101. And you need to prop up Parker. The institutional part of like how we're looked big picture is one thing. But on a more day-to-day level, we got to get this to where we're all feeling better about Parker. And it's not just this negative, and we could enter his offensive coordinating tenure on a positive swing. So I just think this is how it had to go today. Unlike all the other stuff, this was handled well today. Doesn't surprise me at all because Marcus is so good at this. His job as the head guy, the steward of all this today, was to stabilize the situation the best he could. Stabilize the situation, and he did. And it doesn't surprise me he did a good job. So hopefully this can calm down when we get to spring ball. Then we're looking at what that looks like, and we just kind of can move out of the national spotlight of negativity. There's still going to be questions internally. It's more important to me we get through the national narrative. All those articles are depressing. It's one of those things where it's like, with your family, like if anybody attacks your family or talks bad about them, you're upset. But when it's just family, you could talk about other family members because you're all in the same circle. That's how this is. It's different when Notre Dame people are trying to figure out from the inside. And we have all this history and scar tissue with Notre Dame and the administration and all that. It's one thing for us trying to talk about this all and figure it out. Nationals, what I want to avoid, those national stories that were bad, where those hurt, man. Those hurt. It's a tough look in recruiting. It's a tough way to recruit other coaches. It's just kind of rough. But good job today. But I don't know how anybody could be surprised if you expected Notre Dame Freeman to get up there and say, oh, yeah, I wanted to hire the other guy, but they wouldn't pony up. That was never, ever, ever going to happen, ever. And you all understand that. That was never going to happen. Everything that was said today is 100% predictable, exactly what you should have known you were going to get, because it's the only way it could go. I'm scaring the neighbors. I'm scaring the golfers. They're trying to putt out, and I'm yelling. Sorry. Shh. They're trying to putt out. My bad. Sorry. They're right out here. The green's right there. Sorry. So this went the way it should have gone, the only way it could go. Freeman did a good job with it. Let's just hope we move along. And the other thing is, if we get to the other side of this and our offense looks good, and then that really helps. Like, small picture, the process needs to be refined because they messed it up. But big picture, the best thing that could happen is Notre Dame's offense is decent. And then we move along, and then it is what it is. And if we're winning, people aren't going to say as much about it. That's the next best thing you could do. Good job by Freeman today, but also this doesn't prove that Notre Dame did nothing wrong. That is false. It's just objectively false. Like, so people telling me, oh, are you going to back off? Look, everything's fine. No. Even if you believe all that was said, the process, there was a mistake. Notre Dame's number one job is to protect the reputation of this brand nationally, worldwide, and make sure we always have respect and we lost that this week. So there was mistakes made they got to learn from at an administrative level, and I'll do a show later in the week about that. All right, that's it, guys. We went 15 minutes. I got a couple more Miller Lights to tend to, and then we're going to go do something. Sorry, the audio isn't that great. Couldn't bring my microphone, got the camera and the laptop. That's as good as I could do. Have a good one, everybody. We'll talk to you.